what I see good players doing, right, a little bit of push into and off the left. Again, without the hips moving way right, you're pushing off the left, but you're immediately starting to turn around. But this club head and your arms and hands would be more like I'm tossing it back. If I was literally gonna toss the club head back behind me, that would be more of the motion. I want to talk to you today about live view golf. Now, you guys hear me say all the time that you need feedback when you're practicing. You need to know if you're actually doing what you're trying to do, and the best way to give yourself feedback ultimately is video. And not only is video the best way to give yourself feedback, but being able to see yourself simultaneously as you're doing a movement is the best form of video feedback. It's the best way I've seen to make changes in your swing and be able to correlate the differences between your feels and your reels. Live view is super easy to use and set up. Simply set it up behind or in front of you. You connect it with your iPad or phone, pop that on the ground. You can actually do your practice, see yourself as you're doing it, the best way to expedite your process. I encourage you guys to check out Live View Golf. We'll put a link in the description down below with a coupon code. Hey guys, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to start the swing correctly. We're actually going to be answering a viewer question. I have a question here from Joe on Instagram. He asked, hey Eric, how do you start the swing correctly? Love that question. Want to talk about that here. If you guys want to get one of your questions answered, right, leave a comment down below this video, a video topic or question you want answered. We're actually going to be picking one or two each week to create full YouTube videos directed towards you and your topic. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. So Joe asked, how do we start the swing correctly? And this is a great question and one that comes up a lot. I think there's a couple key points to keep in mind here if we're talking sort of stock model. The first thing I would start with would be the feet. One of the key things that you see amongst ball strikers and good ball strikers is a pressure shifting early. So at the actual start, if you actually measure, like, what are the things actually moving that create the rest of the motion? The first thing that we see is the motion in the feet. So let's say I'm going through my normal setup and I'm putting pressure between my left and right foot, just kind of waggling back and forth. Right before I start, there actually should be a subtle shift into and off of the left foot. So I'm adding a little bit of weight to the left foot, and then I'm unweighting a little bit of the left foot early. And that's happening really right before I'm starting to the point of the first couple feet of my backswing. So how you'd feel this would be waggle back and forth, feeling pressure in your left and right foot. Once you set it on your left, push down into your left foot, and then feel like there's less weight on your left foot. So you're unweighting or coming off of it, just again, for about the first foot or two of the backswing. That's what we see when you measure the pressure movement of really good ball strikers. So a little bit of waggle back and forth, press into and off of the left foot. And notice as I do that, that's just a little subtle motion. I'm not pushing off and having my body go just wildly off to the right. In fact, not a lot of my body mass, hips are actually moving way to the right. It's more just motion in my feet to create the motion. So start to get motion going. So I'm waggling back and forth, looking at my target at the ball. Once I'm ready to go, push down into my left and then off my left. So waggle, waggle, push down. And it's just a little trigger motion. And I love that for all clubs, especially if you're someone who gets stuck over the ball and you're not sure how to go or how to start, or you're not sure how to get your body motions going. Start with the feet. One more time with that. So we're pressure down into the left and into the right. Waggle at the target, waggle at the ball. Push down into the left, and then off of it. So that would be sort of part one that I would look at, would be how does the swing start, or how do you start the swing correctly? I would do it with the feet. Now, the second part would be how the rest of my body, or my torso and arms, hands, and club move. And how I would categorize this is, for a lot of players, they're looking to make the initial start of the swing like a set motion. Like we're trying to set the club into the right spot. Whereas I would say the beginning motion, I like to be more of like a throw. Really what I'm doing when I'm moving my body early to create the motions that I want to get the club and my body into spots to create the reactions on the way down. Because listen, what does starting the swing matter? What does your backswing matter? Well, it doesn't matter at all so long as your downswing pieces are good. But the flip side of that is it matters to the degree that it affects your downswing, meaning if we can put good motions in and stack them up on top of each other to increase the odds of good downswing, that's what we want to do. Certainly you can make up for a bad takeaway, you can make up for a bad backswing, but we want to stack good elements. So what I see good players doing, right, a little bit of push into and off the left, again, without the hips moving way right, you're pushing off the left, but you're immediately starting to turn around. But this club head and your arms and hands would be more like I'm tossing it back. If I was literally going to toss the club head back behind me, that would be more of the motion. If I had a bucket here with me, I want my early motion not to be set with my shirt buttons and my belt buckle pointed straight at the ball. That's not what I want. I want a toss motion. If I was going to take this bucket and toss it behind me. And you see the motions that are happening for me to do that. There's a lot of core rotation. My chest and shoulders are the piece that's really moving the club early. And that would be what I was trying to do to start the swing correctly. So we have the waggling, we have the pushing off the left, and we have essentially like you're taking this club and you're gonna let it toss behind you. We should get a lot of good things there for free. One piece takeaway, lots of width early. The club head should be on plane. No excessive forearm rotation. So push off the left, throw the club head back. Push off the left, throw the club head back. And if I do that well, again, I should see a lot of those things. You should see lots of things for free. When I don't do them well from here, you would see a lot of arms and hands early. You'd see a lot of excessive forearm rotation. You see no body rotation. You see no sequencing, no power. When I do it well, and you also see very narrow. When I do it well, you should see width. You should see lots of one-piece takeaway. This should look like what good ball strikers do. Push off the left, throw the club head behind you. Push off the left, throw the club head behind you. And if you do it really well, like when I get that throw piece correct, it feels to me a little bit more like I'm throwing it back and then gathering it down. Like there's a little bit more of a whipping effect. And every time when I get that sequencing correct, or when I record that, that always comes from good sequencing. That's when I know I'm doing the body motions correct. I'm gonna hit the ball solid, hit it farther. So one more time with that. Push off the left, throw the club head back. And that's engineered with a lot of core, chest, and shoulders. You know, there's more micro stuff we could talk about here. The legs will start changing flex, the hips will start tilting. So if there was going to be anything else I'd throw in, there'd be a little bit of legs changing flex, push off the left, throw the club head back. But to keep it simple, just those two things. Waggle, push off the left, throw it back. Push off the left, throw it back. That would be a lot of good things for free. So without seeing someone swing, right, obviously if you want to check out CogornoGolf.com, we go through specifics. Depending upon where you're coming from, you might need to feel different things, right? You always need to feel the opposite of your issue. That's what we talk about more there. But in terms of answering this question here, Joe, it's throwing the club head back. It's pushing off your left foot. If you guys want to have your question answered, again, leave your question in a comment down below. We'll pick one or two every week. If you guys enjoyed this video, we'll put a similar card here on the screen for a similar video. We'll also put CogornoGolf.com. Would love for you to join there, send in your swings, and work together on your game.